It's nearly day 300 in my hardcore world, and I still haven't beaten the game. That changes today. My main goals for this episode is to take down the Ender Dragon, explore the further End Islands, and add to my historical district in my starter area with a new temple to house the dragon egg. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Let's get started. I just now realized that this trapdoor is going a different direction than this trapdoor. I have no idea how I never noticed this before. Anyway though, the first thing on my agenda at the moment to prepare, for beating the game is I need to go to the Nether to get some blaze rods. I have 20 ender pearls, so I don't need any more of those. I just have 0 blaze rods. And seeing as how I'm level 31 at the moment, I think I'm going to enchant a bow. Just power 4. Power 4 Unbreaking 3 is a pretty good start, I guess. Honestly, I had no idea I had a church chicken, but let's go. I love this. With this new bow, I think I'm prepared to go into the worst dimension this game has to offer. At least there is a fortress, like, kinda close. It's just in a really inconvenient position. It looks like it kinda connects over there across this lava lake, so I'm just gonna run all the way around and make my way to the fortress that way. A lot less stressful than trying to bridge over all of this lava. Oh wait, there's actually one right here. I feel like this can't be the same one, right? That other one's like over there. I don't know, whatever. I'm just gonna run in here. Hey, we got a spawner over here. Let's go. Alright, I got 11 blaze rods. That should be more than enough. Actually, there's a couple more here, hold on. 13 blaze rods, that I think should be plenty. Nope, got one more for good measure. 2 more for good measure. That was surprisingly really easy. I feel like the Nether never goes that smoothly for me. I think with those blaze rods, we are now completely ready to go find the stronghold. Regardless of how many times I've actually beaten the Ender Dragon, this is still kind of nerve-wracking to do. It's still quite easy to die in the end. But let's throw the first pearl and let's see which direction we have to go. Oh, it's behind our house. And at least we got the pearl back. I will always take that. That took way too long to find, dude. I am horrible at finding the strongholds, but whatever, we are here. Oh, that was actually really fast. Nice. I'm gonna go through this nether portal really quick that I just made, and I'm gonna take a screenshot of the coordinates on the other side. And we're actually very safe in here. That's sick. And I think with that, we should be good. Just to hop into the end. All right, man. Hopefully this isn't the end of the series. Here we go. Wish me luck. I normally have really bad end city luck. Here we go. That changes today. Let's get it. This is actually huge for me. I only have to bridge over like 1 time. Man, what did I do to deserve this? I'm actually gonna go this way so we can get the ship immediately and then get our elytra. I hate this so much. Please, hands, don't fail me now. This always feels so good. Let's go. Sky's the limit, it absolutely is. We got our first pair of elytra. Let's loot the rest of this city then. It should be a lot easier to loot now that I have elytra too. I believe I got everything there was to get out of that first end city. So let's start flying away and see if we can find another one, because I want more elytra and I want more just regular loot. I just flew back to the main end island. I didn't see any end gateways, and I was already kind of getting close to 0-0, so I just decided to keep flying. Never done that before, but it really wasn't that bad. But here we go. We officially have beaten Minecraft. Let's go. And I'm at spawn. Hold on. It takes like one rocket to get back to my area. This is so good now. I would definitely say that we got a lot of really good stuff from that End City expedition. Now though, it's time to actually use my 68 levels that I have. And if you guys are familiar with any of my series, whenever I beat the Ender Dragon, I always enchant my first wooden pickaxe with my next enchant. So let's head over to the library and let me enchant my day 1. Efficiency 4, Fortune 3. It's not going to be used anymore, but it always feels good to enchant this one. I'll probably display this somewhere at some point in this world, maybe actually right now in my starter house. It's gonna go right there under the clock. Actually, let me name it. Hold on. I'm gonna name it Paul. I don't know, that just feels right. My plan for now then is just to enchant a lot of stuff. And then once I'm under level 30, I'll start combining things together to try to get the best possible gear and armor and whatnot I can. So let me go ahead and do that, and let's see what kind of enchantments we can get. I am now down to level 2. And I still have a bit more of combining that I need to do, so I think I'm just gonna grind out my skeleton farm. Now, after I was comfortable with the enchantments on my armor, my tools, and my weapons, I wanted to throw an enchantment on my elytra. Now, of course, the ideal elytra will have mending and unbreaking 3. At the current moment, I only have a mending villager, so that's the best I can do right now. So I headed back to the village, grabbed myself a mending book, and promptly threw it on my elytra. It was then time that I wanted to do another interior. Now, I've said this plenty of times, but one of the goals I have for this series is that I would like to fully finish every single build that I have in this world, and that means the interiors. Now, I don't plan on making them all like really extravagant or look amazing. I just want them all just to be okay looking. The interior I'm going to be tackling today is the library. Now that I have a villager breeder, which we made last episode, I can actually populate the interior of this library with librarians. Of course, since this is a library, I wanted to use a lot of bookshelves on the interior, but I didn't really want to craft them. Instead, I decided to go back to the stronghold and just get them from the library there. It'll save me quite a bit of materials, especially considering paper is very important for rockets. I would like to take this time as well to mention that I want to start doing Q&As every so often on this channel. My plan is just to do random chores around my base in the Q&A videos, and that'll include like interiors, gathering materials, harvesting my crops, stuff like that. I feel like this will be a really good way of making sure that I achieve my goal of finishing every build in this world. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask me, can be related to YouTube, can be related to video games, or just honestly anything, leave them down in the comments below. I should point out that if I end up not getting enough questions to make a full video on, then I'll just go through and respond with my answers, so the questions will still get answered. At this point then, with a finished interior to the library, I went and I transported some villagers out of my villager breeder. I started taking them into the library one at a time, just because I figured it would be easier to rotate the trades that way. And the only trade that I was really looking for at the moment was Unbreaking 3. That was the last thing I needed on my elytra, so that was the top of my priority list. But I got mending very, very shortly on the first villager, and it seemed worth it to me to lock that in just so I didn't have to transport my other mending villager all the way from that village. With the second villager I brought in, I immediately got mending again for fewer emeralds than I just accepted it for. Obviously, I wasn't going to take another mending trade. It's just kind of funny that that ended up happening so quickly. The second villager, though, was giving me so much trouble. I feel like I was there for like an hour and a half, re-rolling trades. I don't think I've ever had this much trouble getting a specific enchant before, but eventually the villager cooperated and I got Unbreaking 3. With that being done though, let's focus on the main build for this episode. And that build is going to go in this area somewhere. I want to add another kind of religious building to this section. And the purpose for this new building, at least for now, is going to be a place to put the dragon egg. I'm imagining it's going to be a pretty big building, so I can definitely fit way more than just the dragon egg in there. But for now, I think this is going to be a good start. I'm not exactly sure where I want this building to go, and I think the best way for me to figure that out is going to be to clear out like all of these trees right here. So I'm gonna get chopping for a little while, and I should have a better idea of where this thing's going to go then. I've been chopping trees for a little while. We freed up a lot more space over here, and I think I've decided on two potential locations for my next building. One potential spot is right where I'm standing currently. I would probably just have to cut away at the ground a little bit. And then the other spot is just over here, where the back of the building would probably go like right where I'm standing currently and would meet up with like the cliffside right over here. Both options are pretty solid, and they definitely will both require some terraforming because the landscape back here is not ideal. I do think though, I want to put another entrance to the other church right here, because regardless of where I put this next building, whether it be right here or right here, I think it would look a lot better if there was another entrance to the church leading out into this like courtyard area. It's definitely nothing special, but at least now we have an entrance to this side of the building. I'm ready now then to start collecting materials for this next build. I just have to figure out exactly what I need. And I'm going to be using a very similar color palette to this church right here, but I think I'm going to change it up slightly. I want there to be a lot more moss and mossy cobblestone in this new build, and I want to see if I can transition that into the white blocks at the top. And then to accomplish the transition between the moss and the white blocks, I think I'm going to go ahead and grab some vines. And I'll be using those vines in a very similar way to how I used the glow lichen here to combine the andesite and the diorite. The back of the roof here still isn't even oxidized how I want it to be. But speaking of oxidizing, I'm going to need a lot more copper as well, because I'm still going to use that for the roof. I think I should have a majority of the blocks already just in my storage room, probably aside from the copper. So I don't actually think I'm going to have to gather all that many materials. I think I'm going to have to take a trip to the end though, because I kind of want to incorporate some purpur in a very small spot on this building. Honestly, not sure if I'll be able to pull that off, but I'll probably gather the stuff just in case I am. Now that I have the color palette figured out though, let's go ahead and gather up the materials. And this would totally be a waste of a rocket, so I'm not going to use that. Now for this material gathering montage, I'm going to do something a little bit differently. Instead of me commentating this, I'm going to pass this off to my girlfriend. I'm also going to be handing her the notes that I wrote for this section of the video. My notes usually don't have much information. I typically just put the name of the block I gathered, and then I just elaborate myself whenever I commentate over it. So let's see what she does with these very limited notes.
All right, so did a lot of stuff, got to level 30 to enchant another hoe, so that you could easily gather moss, and then you gathered the moss. And then from there, you just jumped right to copper, gathered some copper, found a village so that you could get some emeralds, so that you could buy Unbreaking 3 book to put on that's how Electra is spelled? Elytra.
I also didn't find that village. I just went to that village.
Ah.
I knew that was there.
You headed to a village that you already knew, stole their emeralds.
No, I bought them. That was fair economics.
What'd you buy them for?
Sticks.
That's not fair. While you were in that village stealing emeralds, you also stole vines from jungle trees.
I didn't steal. I planted those trees.
And then you took the vines. Okay, so that's fair. You walked into a library right as a villager unalived itself. Did he just like trip and fall?
He just jumped off the stairs.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't villager proof this building.
Oh, that's so
He
sad.
went off the stairs.
Poor guy. All you have written here is purpur. So yeah, you did some purpur in the village where you stole jungles.
That's a block in the end.
We terraformed some land. So we excavated it, tore all the ground, right? You cleared it just to put it all back in a different way.
Sort of. I just made it a better spot to build on.
You utilized equivalent exchange. That's all I got. It's probably not good. You're probably gonna have to record this.
All right, so I have a nice big area cleared out. We have a bunch of materials gathered in these shulker boxes here. And I guess behind me as well, I'm trying to oxidize some of this copper. I have a very small bee farm over there as well, just to get some wax to actually oxidize this copper. But now with all of this out of the way, we can actually start building. I have no idea what this thing's going to look like. I don't plan my builds. I think you guys probably know this by now. So this might look terrible, but let's see what I can come up with. If you haven't liked the video yet, like the video for this bee right here. Look at him go.
Hey.
Just loves that flower. But I have finished the temple build. And I gotta be honest, not exactly sure how I feel about it. I think it's cool. I feel like it looks nice. I would love your feedback in the comments on this one. I kind of just feel like it's missing something, but I'm not sure quite what just yet. But let me just walk you guys through this area here before I end off the video. I went ahead and decorated the outside here with another coarse dirt path, and I just added in a few more custom trees as well. These I think look great. Really big fan of the trees at the moment. And I mentioned this in the episode where we built the church and I built all of these trees over here. I took a lot of inspiration from another Minecraft YouTuber when it came to making these custom trees, and his name is Xantix. I'll leave his link in the description once again. I think he makes really nice custom trees, and I kind of just wanted to take them for my own world. I mean, I did my own kind of thing on them, but I kind of just used his ideas. These birch trees kind of look like crap without the better leaves resource pack, which isn't ideal. Or maybe it's just that one. Yeah, because like this one over here looks pretty cool still. I think it's just that one. I probably should just tweak it up a little bit. I'll get to that eventually. And by eventually, I probably mean never. But I'm really a big fan of how this like landscape is turning out. I feel like this area is gonna look really sick once we add trees like everywhere. So that's one plus side to this build at least. I am a little glad I was able to incorporate some purpur into this build though. You can't really see it because it's pretty high up and I don't have any rockets at the moment. So let me get on top of this scaffolding. So there is a like strip of purpur blocks going all the way around, and I think that looks pretty cool. Kind of fits the end theme quite well without taking away from the rest of the color palette, so like it still fits with this church over here. And I'm still in love with the roof. It's just a super simple gradient using just the copper blocks, but it looks phenomenal in my opinion. I'm completely lost for interior ideas at the moment, so I'm going to complete that in between episodes. For now, all I did was I put the dragon egg in here on top of the anvil because I think it's a cool way to display the dragon egg. I'll probably have this as the centerpiece. I just have to figure out the rest of the decoration. And I'm also unsure if I want to have an exit back here or not. That's kind of why I just kept it open. But you don't see that on the thumbnail because it's behind the building, so I can get away with it. That's going to do it for this episode. I hope you guys did enjoy the build, even though I'm kind of lukewarm on it at the moment. But thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.